Hi, and welcome to Kidney Plugged In with the epic 3-day 100-kilometer kidney march from Kananaskis to Calgary, just a few short weeks away. This episode is packed with information on how and why to register for the Kidney March. Personal stories from participants sharing why the Kidney March is so important to them, and training tips for participants of all ages. It's one-stop shopping for information on the Kidney March, so it's an episode you don't want to miss. And it's coming up next, right here on Kidney Plugged In.
I'm Naren Scott Douglas. I'm a kidney specialist, and I've been working on the Kidney March since Joyce came up with this crazy idea about 12 years ago. And I've been involved with every Kidney March as the medical lead with a great group of medical crew over the years. Many of them have been involved in most years that we've had it. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about health and safety while you're doing your Kidney March this year in the virtual march. And I think the main thing I'd like to impress upon you is that you need to be safe when you walk. So make sure you find a good place to walk. We're really discouraging walking on roadways. I know at the Kidney March we have a controlled roadway walking where we have a lot of crew and staff making sure it's safe. But there's a lot better places, and actually places that are easier on your feet to walk, particularly dirt trails, some of the asphalt trails, around the reservoirs, places like that. You should need to build up the distances you're going to be walking on. Many of you have already been training for this, but building up's an important part. You don't want to hurt yourself by going out too hard and doing too far in the first few days. Your muscles need to get used to it, and one of the things they need to get used to is the length and the power that you're using them. So it's very important that you stretch. I think it's easier on your feet to walk on dirt. I know walking on asphalt often causes blisters on the downhill or the uphill side because there's a little grade to the side of the asphalt. We see a lot of blisters. Well, one of the ways to prevent blisters is to actually build up walking. So if you build up walking and you develop calluses, those are important protection for your feet. Good to round off the edges of the callus with a little abrasive to get the edges off them, but don't take those calluses away because your body needs them to protect that part of your foot. And often we find people get blisters right where they used to have a callus. So the callus can protect you. If you do get a blister, it's a little different than when you're doing, 35, 38K a day for 3 days. If you get a blister, you should actually take a day or two off and let that blister heal. If there's liquid in the blister, you should pop the blister on the top side with a sterile needle. If you don't have a sterile needle, you can put the needle that you do have in a lighter and let the flame sterilize it for you. You pop it on the top sides so that it drains upward a little bit. And then probably the best thing is just to put a little Duoderm over there. I'd like you to consider putting Duoderm on your feet if you're going to walk a long distance where you think you might get hot spots, particularly around the heel and the ball of the foot. Both of those areas are quite susceptible to getting hot spots and then blisters. If you get blisters around your toe and you need to keep walking, you need to pop them as well, but also I would use Duoderm. You can pick these all up at the pharmacy, Moleskin or Duoderm, and there's generic names for them as well, that you can wrap. It's a lot easier to wrap toes with that. If you're on any medications, you should take all your medications every day, even when you're walking. Hydration is really important. You should increase your water intake, particularly if you're on water pills or diuretics when you're walking. You need to be well hydrated. Your muscles need that and your brain needs that. And so drinking lots of fluid, it'll help you avoid heat stroke. If it's a hot day when you're walking, you're going to need to increase your fluid intake dramatically. To actually, if you're walking 10 kilometers, you probably should be drinking a couple liters over that period of time on a hot day. And the other thing is if you're diabetic and you're exercising more than you usually do, you may not need as much insulin. Because when you exercise, you burn up more sugars and therefore you need a little bit less insulin. So talk to your nurse or your doctor about insulin and exercise. Make sure you have something with you that's quick sugar in case you feel like your sugars are going low. The reason we're having a virtual march is because of COVID, and COVID has its own risks. So when you're marching, you can probably keep a couple of meters away from other people. But you should still have a mask in your pocket or in your pack, just in case things get crowded and you have to put on your mask. If you can't keep 2 meters away from somebody, you should be wearing a mask. You need to wash your hands often and bring a little bit of hand sanitizer with you, because you never know when you're going to have to touch something or move something that somebody else may have touched. If you're going to eat something, make sure you sanitize your hands before you eat. If you've got pain, the best thing to use is acetaminophen or Tylenol for aches and pains. If you've got over half your kidney function, you can use ibuprofen as well. Some people find that works better. If you've got less than 50% of your kidney function, you should talk to your doctor about whether or not you can use ibuprofen or an anti-inflammatory rather than Tylenol if it works better for you. In fact, if you have any medical condition, you should tell your doctor that you're doing the kidney march and that you're going to be doing this exercise in August and September, just so they know and they can tell you if you need to take any extra precautions. Of course, if you have any questions, concerns, or wondering anything, just give the Kidney Foundation a call. They can always get a hold of me or one of my colleagues who can answer those questions for you. Take care and march safe.
Care about kidneys? We know your body does, intimately. If they're functioning right, they purify your body. If they're functioning wrong, they poison your life. This year, in support of the 1 in 10 Canadians with kidney disease, hundreds of brave spirits will march 100 kilometers in the journey of a lifetime. Kidney March, powered by a unique pledge, underscored by every step from K-Country to Calgary. Failure is not an option.
When you come together at an event like this, you realize that you're not alone and that there's so many people out there walking the same path that you are.
One of the ladies I was walking with, she had had a transplant. Just the stuff that she had gone through herself is inspiration enough to do this walk. And then you look around and every single person around you has a story.
My mom gave me her kidney 2.5 years ago, so this is a special day. She's also here walking, and I'm just here to make awareness for everyone.
Won't you join us for 3 powerful days and 2 inspiring nights where success is the only option?
He is a dialysis patient and he's walking, and he's doing he's showing us up actually.
We give you tents to sleep in, hot showers, and hot meals, and a warm welcome practically everywhere you go.
Well, I lost my kidney in January to cancer, and I just heard this on the radio and I was really excited and thought I'd do something for, kidney research and stuff like that.
Kidneys may fail someone close to us, but Kidney March says, we won't. We won't.
Oh, I love it. I love to be here. I love to be a part of it. It is the best kidney event of the year.
Take your first step today at kidneymarch.ca.
Hi, I'm Cashin, and this is Cashin's Fun Tips for Kidney March. My dad and I both have polycystic kidney disease. My dad had a transplant already, and I'll most likely need one too. If we continue to raise money for research, maybe I won't need one. Last year, I got to march due to COVID. I love the amount of people that came out to support me, especially my teachers. I found the best way to get my support was to always talk about the Kidney March, talk about why you're involved in the march, use social media and post about how far you've walked. Don't forget to share pictures of where you've walked, and always attach your personal Kidney March link so people can donate. Walk in your community and wear as much Kidney March swag as you can. When you go on vacation, do the same thing. Walk where it's beautiful. I walked around Spray Lakes near Canmore. Walk where people will ask you questions about your Kidney March swag. Don't forget to wear your tracking device so you can keep track on how many kilometers you've done. Find a good place to walk and tell someone where you're walking. Hey Dad, I'm gonna go walk around the park. Okay. Be alert, stay safe, walk on the pathways, not on the highways. Watch your feet for blisters. Use moleskin. Wear a hat, bring some sunscreen. Prepare for any kind of weather. Ah! Don't overheat. Wear layers. And don't forget to hydrate. Drink lots of water. Most importantly, walk with pride, have fun, and I'm proud of you.
Let's see, so kidney is a... These are my grandpa's kidney stones. They're very precious. Kidney is a bone in your back that helps you turn. I don't know, to be honest.
They don't know kidneys are vital, do you? Get the facts at kidney.ca.
My name is Matthew James. I'm a kidney specialist and health researcher at the University of Calgary's Cummings School of Medicine. My research is focused on making health and healthcare safer for people with kidney disease. We use large amounts of data from patients in the healthcare system to study the outcomes of patients with or at risk of kidney disease. And then we develop strategies to implement into the healthcare system to try to make procedures, surgical care, and the use of medications safer. For example, for patients going for heart procedures, our team has been working on a study to help identify patients who are at risk of developing kidney damage with a heart procedure and flag them to the attention of healthcare providers at the time and place where they're cared for. This allows people to take steps to protect the kidneys and to improve health outcomes. We work with stakeholders in the healthcare system to implement these strategies, to spread them around hospitals in Alberta, and then conduct trials to test and see whether or not they improve outcomes and improve the experience for patients with kidney disease. Our goal is to make healthcare and medications and surgical procedures safer for people with kidney disease. Funding from organizations like the Kidney Foundation is critical to carry out research like this, and also helps to train researchers across Canada to improve the capacity to do research in kidney disease across the country. Thank you to everybody participating in the Kidney March this year, both marchers and support staff, for all your energy, hard work, and support. Your incredible contributions are critical to the success of research and training in Canada to help improve the lives of all people with or at risk of kidney disease.
Hello, my name is Pi. I'm the photographer for Kidney March, and you might not know that I also ran 8 standalone marathons, 7 half marathons, 35 different triathlons, and 9 full Ironmans. What's an Ironman? It's a 3.8 kilometer swim, followed by a 180 kilometer bike, and then you have to run a 42 kilometer full marathon, all in one day, all with time cutoffs. So Kidney March would like me to share some of the tips and techniques that I've learned in the past to help my running and walking techniques to help reduce injuries. I'm over 106 kilograms. I'm not the best type of athlete for this type of sport, but I do appreciate the importance of proper technique to prevent injuries. It's especially more important as you grow older, and also sometimes the heavier you are, you have to be able to do these events with proper training and techniques. Hey, walking's pretty easy, right? How hard could that be? Well, after 20 to 30 kilometers, you'll soon discover little pains and aches that you might not have been aware of at shorter distances. I guarantee you, after 100 kilometers, bad technique is gonna hurt. So my first tip for you is shorter strides, okay, longer strides, you'll pay. So what does that mean? Well, shorter strides will allow you to walk with better form, and then longer strides, you tend to land with your heel. And the problem about landing on your heel is that's where most of your injuries come from. You see, when you land on your heel, all that energy gets absorbed by your shoe. And when you walk with a longer stride, your knees become straight and the force of your body weight shoots up from your ankles to your knees to your hips. You might not feel it now, but you'll pay for it later. The better way is to take smaller strides. This will force you to land on your toes and midfoot, where your foot will absorb your entire body weight. If you can imagine running barefoot in the kitchen, you always land on your toes and midfoot like a cat and never on your heel. Remember to keep your eyes up, good posture, and walk proud. I want you to try this demonstration for yourself. Take your arm out like this, and then move your hand across by taking large steps. This is you walking, and requires a lot of energy just to drag your hand along. Now try it with short steps, and you'll immediately notice it doesn't require a whole lot of energy to move across. There are two reasons why. First, big steps require your hips to pull your body weight along. So you are literally dragging your body weight through the entire distance of the stride. Secondly, with small steps, you basically let your body weight swing that leg forward and fall in place, letting the momentum and gravity do all the heavy work. Your center of gravity and your body is aligned closer to the impact zone, and your feet will absorb most of the shock. The bottom line is, just by reducing your stride about 10% or more, you will greatly reduce the amount of strain and pressures that are falling on your knees, your hips, and your feet.
Hi, my name is Josephine Diado, and I'm a first-time and solo marcher here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And you know, this has been definitely an experience that I will never forget, and I'm so glad that I am part of this incredible fundraising and awareness platform for those who have kidney disease. I didn't think that I would be able to do 100 kilometers march, but I did it. And you know, there's a lot of talk about what a hero is. Heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes a hero is just an average, ordinary person who had the courage to say, I'll try. Those are the kidney marchers out there, and kudos to all of you. This was definitely a journey that I will never forget in my life. I'm so honored to have been part of this incredible journey. You know, at first it was very hard for me to get motivated, but I joined the Kidney March training Facebook page, and that helped me a lot. It was very interactive and engaging, and the posts and stories by other marchers moved me, and I was inspired by their struggles and their victories. And also, whenever I post something on Facebook, I would get positive feedback from my friends and family, and that got me even more motivated. And I also remember my why I was doing it in the first place. What I really liked about the march is, even though we were doing it virtually, seeing everyone's posts on the page, it was like I too was marching with them along the way. Some of the highlights for me was sharing the experiences, photos and videos, and I thought it was a great way to communicate and to connect with one another. The Kidney March has given me a sense of accomplishment at the end of each day. Some of us, you know, have different goals, different training methods, different start and stop locations. But you know what? We all had one focus, and that was to march. and I'm so glad to be, part of that community. Who did I march for? Why did I march? And what are my hopes for all those living with kidney disease? I march for my husband, whom we have lost to stage 4 renal carcinoma. And this year, 2021, was the 10th year of his passing, and I thought I'd do something different to commemorate his death anniversary. And so when I told my kids that I was gonna join my friend Elwin to do the 100 kilometers, and they're like, what? 100 kilometers? And you know what? They were very supportive. And I said to them, as long as I have you guys by my side, that I know that I would be able to do it. And so they joined me as well, and they were very supportive. So there I was marching on, and each time I put a step out there, I remember my husband and those people, especially some of my friends that are struggling with this disease. I too remember them, and I know my friend Evelyn had lost her loved ones as well from this disease. And one thing that I can say is never lose hope. It is okay to be scared, because it is scary, and it is okay to cry. Everything is okay, but giving up is not an option, and failure is not an option. And if there's anything I'd like to say to encourage other kidney marchers out there in the future, you know what, this is a great opportunity to challenge yourself, especially when you believe that you are doing something worthwhile to help others in making a difference. It doesn't matter how hard it is. Heartfelt gratitude to everyone who sponsored me, who walked with me and followed my journey. I hope that I'd get to do this again next year.
Another common pain you'll find are shin splints, IT band problems, and piriformis syndromes. And these are a result of muscles that are not used to working within that range of movement. The way you train for it is to develop exercise routines and stretches that address working out these muscles that you seldom use. Shin splints and ilioband injuries, IT problems, mostly come from muscles not being able to handle the unfamiliar lateral forces that occur when you try to balance your body's motion through your run or walk. Challenge yourself on your next pre-walk stretching routine to include stretches like deep front lunges, side-to-side lunges, and side leg lifts to broaden your range of movement. This is why training on uneven surfaces is really important for your training in the preseason. Newsflash, the kidney march is not perfectly flat. There are hills, there's slanted pavement, and there's uneven surface everywhere. So mix up your training routine by hiking, stair climbing, walking, or jogging on soft surfaces like trail or soft grass. This will help you strengthen them for situations that you might not anticipate if you walked on a perfectly flat sidewalk. Trail walking is the best. Listen to your body. If you feel discomfort, try walking out for a little bit for a couple of kilometers. Most discomfort goes away after your body readjusts. If you feel sharp pain, stop and reassess. During your workouts, you want to stay hydrated as much as you can with electrolytes. You sweat most of your electrolytes out during your activity, and you want to replenish them to prevent muscle cramps and pain down the road. And finally, a note about shoes. If you're having feet pain or blistering, you might want to check out elastic shoelaces. Your feet over time will naturally swell when you're on your feet all day, especially when you're walking. Your feet will feel hot, sweaty, and heavy. Elastic shoelaces will let your feet expand and breathe. Some brands of laces will have knots to help you to control the levels of tension along your foot that a traditional shoelace can't do. Some people might like more room in the toe box, for instance, and a snugger fit near the ankle. My last tip is to consult a running shoe store to diagnose problems with your feet. You'll be surprised what different brands of shoes can do to help with your stability, your under and over pronation, which is the torsional movement of your foot. High unsupported arches, you could have shoes that address those issues, and stability. So a good running store will help diagnose the problems. And one great tip before you go to a running store is to bring an older pair of shoes. This will show all the wear and tear marks over time and help the running store diagnose any problems that you have with longer distances, because they'll show up on your shoe, whether you're a heel dragger or you tend to land too much on one side of the shoe. Those things will be revealed by a consultation with the running store. So here's a quick recap of the things that we covered. Number 1, shorter strides, okay. Longer strides, you'll pay. Number 2, remember to do those strengthening exercises and stretch during your practice. Number 3, train on different types of surfaces, especially trails and hills. Number 4, to prevent muscle cramping, try to drink sports drinks over water and keep your electrolyte balance with salty snacks. Number 5, try elastic laces to keep your feet happy. Number 6, consult a running store to find the right shoe for your foot. So good luck out there. Remember, shorter strides mean longer distances.
I am not a hero, but I walk beside one. A brave woman who knows the meaning of pain, but transforms it into hope. I am not a hero, but I walk in honor of one. A man who has endured a lifetime of disease with grace. Join us for Kidney March, 3 days, 100 kilometers, a life-changing journey. Register at kidneymarch.ca.